Welcome to Our Girl Relationships. On this channel, we discuss day-to-day problems people face in their lives. Let's start with the video. I've been with my wife for 4 years. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and she and my wife were never able to form a strong bond, and one of the reasons for that is distance. My wife did try to get close to my daughter in the past, but my daughter claimed she was just attempting to control her rather than have a respectful relationship with her. They had past issues, but now get along a bit. My daughter was visiting for Thanksgiving and brought her Honda car with her. I was out of the house when my wife, whose car's been sitting in the garage for a month now, took my daughter's car keys without her permission while she was showering and left in it for nearly 2 hours. My daughter called me as soon as she got out of the bathroom and was freaking out, saying neither her car nor my wife were there. I tried to calm her down as I tried to get a hold of my wife, but she did not respond. We at this point figured my wife took the car but did not know where she was or when she was coming back. My daughter searched my wife's closet, then called the cops and reported her car taken. She called back to tell me my wife's closet was half empty and cops were called. I got off work and went home immediately, and on the way my wife called crying. She just got picked up by cops at Walmart and was brought into the station. I went over there and met my daughter there. We discussed what happened, and it turned out my wife took the car to go do some shopping and left my daughter a note in the kitchen to let her know, since she does not have her number, and took clothes from her closet she packed earlier in the morning for church donations. But my daughter thought she ran away and told the cops that this woman, my wife, ran away with her car. My daughter got her car back and my wife was let go after filling out a form. I took her home. That is where she had a fight with my daughter, calling her crazy for calling the cops on her and few other things I can't remember. But I told my wife what she did was unacceptable and she should be grateful my daughter only called the cops in a moment of panic and did not press charges after what she did. My wife was shocked and started crying, saying she couldn't believe I sided with my daughter after she humiliated her and caused her panic and to be involved with the cops like that. I stated that she should not have touched that key in the first place, and she defended herself, saying she was getting things done and buying stuff we needed for the house, but we made her out to be the bad guy. She left to her sister's place, saying she has had enough of my daughter's disgraceful and vindictive attitude towards her, and said she'll stay there indefinitely or until I get my priorities straight. Because after what happened, she's no longer sure she's my wife or whether she was treated as such. My wife's car isn't working and has been in the garage for a while now. That is why she took my daughter's car. Not the a-hole. Gotta be honest, my first thought is your wife might have tried to arrange a situation for you to get mad at your daughter and make her stay away even more. Now she's just upset and it backfired. Did you actually find the note in the kitchen? Seems pretty much like that. She didn't ask for permission before using the car, did not call or send a text because she doesn't have her number, which explains how close they are and why she shouldn't be taking someone's car whom she doesn't even have a contact info of, and then leaving a note in the kitchen. Could have attended her husband's call or sent him a text that she was taking the car. Looks like she got herself into a trap that she set. Not the a-hole. Was there actually a note? Also, she could have asked your daughter before or after the shower. How long would really have had to wait? Even if she thought your daughter would say no, she could have asked her to take her. Your wife's story just doesn't add up. It is kind of weird that your daughter went through your wife's closet. Did she just go in the room looking for her and the closet door was open? Or she go into your room and start rummaging? That's kind of strange. The whole thing is a bit odd. Thank you. I'm not saying the wife isn't the a-hole here, but the daughter notices that her car is gone immediately after her shower. She then thinks about going through stepmom's closet, starts crying and calls the cops. I feel like it would be common sense to realize that stepmom took the car and waited for her dad to get a hold of stepmom. Why would she automatically jump to the wife running away? This story is weird. Unpopular opinion here, but I'll still post. This is a strange situation that escalated quickly when so much could have been done to avoid it. 1. Not uncommon for people to not have each other's numbers. Sorry, but this is true. Maybe your wife asked her for her number and she said no. 2. Stepmom left a note saying exactly what was going to happen. Funny that your daughter thought to check her closet if she didn't read the note. 3. You're right. Your wife could have texted you about the plan, but how many times are you in the middle of something and your phone is blowing up but you can't get to it because you're busy? Did that ever occur to anyone? Not that she was running away? 4. Did you ever consider what your wife just went through? Getting pulled over and picked up, questioned at the police station when in her mind she did the right thing? She's your wife, man. Your daughter is an adult and sounds like she knew what she was doing. Be mad at your wife for taking your daughter's car with or without knowing. That's one thing. But she left because of how you were treating her and took one side without knowing the other. I find it odd that your wife's car hasn't been working for a while. Yet, she's expected to get stuff done by, you don't mention waiting for you to get home, bus, taxi, Uber, etc. I think that your daughter told her she wasn't doing anything and that she was going to get ready while your wife borrowed her car. Girls take a while in the shower, shave, dry their hair, put on makeup, and get dressed. Pointing that out, maybe your wife was going to be done within that time frame and left the note as a reminder. Like, hey, we discussed this, but I figured to save time, I'll go now so you can have the rest of the day with your car. You don't really give much context, so I'm going to say everyone involved is an a-hole. I don't think your wife was malicious, or at least from the few facts you gave, it doesn't sound malicious. Next story. My 29 female, brother 31 male, and his wife 34 female got married 2 months ago. They had a destination wedding. Unfortunately, none of our side except a cousin could attend due to multiple valid reasons, which I list a short few. 1. Grandparents, 95 female, 98 female, 89 male. Too old. 2. Our parents. Mom has breast cancer and my dad takes full care of her. 3. Me and our youngest brother's girlfriend, heavily pregnant, newborn. 4. Our older brother and aunt, busy doctors who have to be extra careful. Everyone else either couldn't afford it or couldn't afford to take 2 weeks off. We tried to explain to them the situation months before the wedding, but were hit with, our wedding, our rules. Don't like it, don't come. We asked to be able to help in any way we could, but a few weeks before the wedding, their attitudes changed. We were told they'd prefer to go low contact because we weren't coming to the wedding, which meant we didn't support their marriage. I even begged to pay for the bridesmaids' dresses, but my brother told me he didn't want my money. He wanted me at the day. I tried to explain to him his wedding was 4 days before my due date. He ended up screaming at me, calling me a spoiled, entitled brat, then blocking me. They did similar stuff with everyone else. They even went as far as getting my extremely sick mother upset, to the point my father stopped talking to my brother. So, onto the situation after months of passive-aggressive posts on social media and bride-groomzilla tantrums. They wanted to make up with everyone due to my mother finding out extremely heartbreaking news. 6 months left. We all ended up having dinner at my family home tonight, with everyone being extremely cold to my brother and his wife. No one really cared to listen about their wedding, nor looked at their photos. My brother ended up getting us siblings alone to ask why we were being dicks. My youngest brother told him tonight wasn't the time, then walked out. Oldest said when my mom died, he would never speak to him again, but due to the fact I'm his only sister, he seemed more mad upset at me. I told him, you got your big day now, you have to deal with the consequences. My brother and sister-in-law got extremely upset and left. My mother asked what happened, but we told her he had the runs, diarrhea, and needed to leave. My brother sent me a heartbreaking email afterwards on how he felt so rejected that we weren't at his wedding, nor apologized afterwards. Sorry for my bad grammar, but with the news of my mom and having a newborn, plus the situation with my brother, my mind is like a noodle right now. If you find your brother's self-serving email heartbreaking, despite the irrefutable bullet points you wrote about the reasons you all couldn't attend the self-indulgent destination wedding, then you should also be heartbroken that he's brain dead. Sincere condolences on your mother and congratulations on your new baby. My husband thinks it's due to the fact I have postpartum depression, and over finding out about my mom, I'm so emotional about the situation. Don't worry, I'm in therapy. He wants to yell down the phone at my brother, but I just want to block him for a few days. Wow, what drama queens, definitely not the a-hole. We live in this world where people think that weddings are an excuse to be selfish, and then they don't want to deal with the lifelong consequences that come with that. They sound like awful and entitled people all around. They made their plans knowing none of you would be able to come. And sorry about your mom, that must be terrible. Destination weddings come with the possibility of not every desired guest in attendance. Your brother choosing to cut off relationships with his family over very valid reasons for being unable to travel is his own problem. Also, insisting people travel during the current global pavlova is incredibly selfish and irresponsible, even when those people are fit and fully healthy. Not the a-hole. People were either far too old to travel, too ill, about to have a baby, or had a newborn. I get that they wanted a destination wedding. At this point in the pandemic, I'd feel like a wedding in McDonald's was a destination wedding. But this group of people couldn't go, and it's obvious why. For one, whomever was that pregnant, no doctor would allow this. And then there is the financial side. People can't afford stuff. It's a fact and not a shameful fact. People don't have 2 weeks of leave just readily available and can't go without pay. Not the a-hole, but your brother needs a reality check. Next story. I, female 24, have a sister, female 32, who has a husband, male 38, who is the poster child of weaponized incompetence. They have 4 kids, female 10, male 8, male 5, female 3, and she's pregnant. My sister works a full-time job, 40 plus hours a week, cleans her entire house, cooks, takes care of all her children without him doing anything. It is seriously mind-blowing that she wakes up at like 4 a.m., cooks breakfast, does chores, gets all of her kids ready for school, takes them all to school and daycare, and all he does is stay home and work. And when his kids get home, after my sister picks them up, of course, he will play with them for a little and play video games until he falls asleep. She actually makes more than him. My fiancé 26 male and I had to stay with them for 6 weeks while our home was being renovated. And since we both work from home, we helped her, and it is amazing how much happier she is when she has help. I helped with the kids, and my fiancé even drove her to doctor's appointments. Her husband literally only acknowledges he's a parent when his family is around. Then he is God-fearing, hardworking, father of 5. He's the one that wanted more kids. She wanted to stop after her last baby, but he needed more boys. I'm seriously concerned not only for her, but her kids as well, because now her oldest is seeing what's happening and trying to help, but my sister is prideful and refuses to let her child do anything. Me and this man have never gotten along. He's been acting like this since they were 8 years old. I've tried talking to her about leaving, but she doesn't want her kids to grow up in a broken home. And unfortunately, her experience with our parents' divorce was completely different than mine. So she doesn't understand that a divorce would benefit her kids here because she thinks they need their mom and dad together. Cut to the past weekend, her and her husband threw a pre-Thanksgiving potluck where our entire family plus his was there. I stayed with my sister a few days before because I knew he wouldn't help. So we're at dinner, all talking, and I mentioned we're trying for a baby, and my brother-in-law makes an offhanded comment to him about how hard fatherhood is. And I snapped and said, like you would know. He looked taken aback and asked me what I meant, and I unloaded on him, calling him a pathetic excuse for a man who makes my 8 months pregnant sister do everything for the family. I went off for a solid 10 minutes, and he sat there, shrinking in his seat. I left. Last night, my sister called me and thanked me for standing up for her and told me she appreciated me. Although today, I got a very nasty text from him telling me I'm a terrible person, and because I lied in front of his family, his mom is angry at him and is moving in with them to help her out, and I've made him the laughingstock of his family. He certainly thinks so, but am I the a-hole for doing this? Not the a-hole. Not only did you speak the truth to a guy who learned helplessness, you also seem to have gotten some positive help for your sister. Seriously, if he's that bad, he deserves to be a laughingstock. Maybe that will bring some more positive changes, whether it's finally helping or your sister leaving him. Not the a-hole. Your sister and her mother-in-law saw it as a true reflection of his behavior, and I hope he's embarrassed enough to pull his weight going forward. Little aside though, your sister may not want the children to help, but she should let them and even encourage them because otherwise she will raise 5 more of your brother-in-law. There's a difference between helping, i.e. doing a parent's job, and having chores. The kids definitely need age-appropriate chores, but my sister is going to have a heck of a job drawing the line between that and having to help mom because dad is too lazy for it. One is raising kids who can take care of themselves, be good roommates, and develop healthy home habits. The other is parentification and can mess up with their head, especially since the oldest kid is a girl and this family seems to have serious built-in sexist concepts to deal with. Not the a-hole. Not even a justified a-hole as some comments suggest. You had a breaking point and he was taking credit for the children's upbringing that your sister single-handedly should be thanked for. He knows he's in the wrong, which is why he sat quietly and kept pretending in front of his family. He would have driven your sister into an early grave. His true colors are bound to come out sooner or later when his mother has moved in. He will not be able to pull the facade forever. When that happens, he will either have to change properly or risk losing the support of his family. All of that starts with you speaking up for your sister against his lies. Well done. Next story. I, 16 female, lost my mother when I was 4 years old. My father remarried when I was 7. My stepmom and I never really got along. My older brother, 18 male, dislikes her because she does not approve of him being gay. My brother decided to go no contact with stepmom and father when he turned 18 and moved into an apartment. The worst part is, when we go shopping together, I have a different taste of style than what she likes. If I pick out an outfit that I like, she will give me her opinion and buy me clothes that I will never wear. We recently went out to a shop for dresses and I found a dress that I really loved. I showed it to her and she said that the dress looked tight and she bought me another dress. I finally had enough and said, I'm done shopping with you. I hate the clothes that you pick out for me and I'm tired of looking like a church girl. From now on, I want On to go shopping with me. I could tell that she was visibly upset and did apologize on the way home. She lets my father know and he comes into my room disappointed. He tells me that I'm acting like a little brat and will be grounded for 2 weeks. Am I the a-hole? I'm sorry for lying for so long. I never liked stepmom. I likely will never like stepmom, and I'm ecstatic to never see either of you again once I'm 18 and, like my brother, live my life in peace. Please plan to fund your retirement and end-of-life preparations entirely by yourself. I'm not helping and you can't even reach out to ask my brother. Now that everything is said, let's coexist for the next 2 years with minimal issues if possible. Screw both of them, bide your time OP, plan your 18th to come around and leave ASAP, not the a-hole. Not the a-hole, just stop interacting. Just let dad know that you will no longer interact with the evil stepmom and want nothing to do with them. Let your dad know how disappointed you are that they would punish you for stating outright that you do not like evil stepmom stomping all over your feelings and wants, and as such, they're also walking a very tight line. And do they want to lose another child because of a horrible woman they married? You're not the a-hole. Your father and stepmom are both the a-holes here. I noticed everyone seems to comment that she's an a-hole for being homophobic towards your brother, and while that is true, so is your dad. He sided with her instead of your brother, which is why your brother is no contact with both of them. Your dad is clearly and wrongly siding with his wife here, and his pattern shows she is most important to him. You're not a brat at 16 to want to wear your own style. You're not a brat not to let her push her conservative clothing views on you, or to state your boundaries of not wanting to shop with her anymore. If I were you, I would keep my distance from them, be polite but otherwise unavailable for anything else, and then reach out to get closer to your brother before you turn 18. Put your family closeness desires towards him. He will love you for who you are and not try to fit you into a mold of his own fantasies like your current parents.